Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bald and Bonkers Show. Join your hosts Christopher Mole and Dakota Franson as they take you on a wild ride through the world of the supernatural, with a humorous twist that'll have you laughing and shaking in your boots at the same time. From ghosts to aliens to cryptids, no topic is off limits on this show. And the best part? You don't have to be a believer to join in on the fun. So grab a drink, kick back, and tune in every weekend for new episodes. And if you want even more of the Bald and Bonkers experience, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon page for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Let's get weird. Oh, and for the whiners out there, viewer discretion is advised. There you go, you entitled pricks.
How's it going?
See you changing that last night, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever meet Dakota in real life, I want you to like slowly strangle him. You know that's terrible. Doing that to me.
Hey,
you know?
You're the one that was obsessing about it ever since I told you about the gig I have in Brazil.
Well, you were the one that was going on about the women in Brazil. Oh yes, he's going
hell
on about
yeah,
how beautiful bikinis and stuff like that, and how he wants to go there. You know.
Yeah.
So
have you seen that women? My God, ooh, yeah.
Look at all the new people that's in the chat, and I'm going to have to say something. I'm going to say that video you did last night, the one about spotting fakers and stuff like that. That was a brilliant video, by the way. Well done doing that. And I must say, there was a video needing to come out about that because there is a lot of folk out there that just make up the biggest pile of utter pish that I've ever heard by mankind. And that's my Scottish, by the way, if any's an American. Because people I know that do this UFO stuff all the time and they talk a pile of utter pish about the UFO place. Honestly.
Oh, yeah. And the story's never freaking consistent. They just they try to make it so that they're like they fulfill some sort of messiah complex. Like I said,
okay.
If you see that shit, run like hell.
Look, the folk that I've watched, right, and I'm not going to name names, right, but this guy is an exorcist that's battled with Satan himself and won, and he's fought with the evil greys and won, and now he's considered a high up being in the intergalactic command. To that I say, you're talking pish.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, look who's in the chat there. We've got Drew's Abandoned Paranormal Vlog there, Scotland. Welcome, Drew. It's alive tonight, Drew.
Yes, we're actually alive.
We've got all the new people. These are all coming for Elena's. Am I correct here?
Yeah, there's little Telegram groups they have set up for the Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection event that takes place this October, the 20th through the 23rd. Giving Danny a little shout out just in case she watches us. Love ya! Come back. Let us know when you're ready to come back on the show. And don't injure yourself next time, woman.
I've got a question. See for the events, do people actually dress as aliens? Because I've seen it on TV with these events, and they all dress as like aliens with like big tentacles.
Not from what I saw. I'm doing everything I can to make it down there because, yeah, I'll say it. There's individuals that. What the? Hope you're ready to get your ass kicked on GTA.
He's waiting to get GTA. So I'm going to enjoy it on Monday night, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to see an ass-kicking event, please come onto the Xbox Live and you will see an ass-kicking event. But anyway,
get yourself a capture card so you can just stream it, man.
I think I might buy one, actually. I might buy one, stream it onto the old Ghost Squad Scotland. But honestly, that video last night was good, and you've been needing to make a video like that for some time because there is so many people in the UFO field that have said they've been abducted and they've not been. They've watched somebody else talking about it, and then they say,
they take that story, they add a
change
couple more twists here and there. Now, granted, there's situations where the abduction or encounters play out very similar. It does happen. But when you got to really think about it. For abduction scenarios, if they were to follow the same MO for every single abduction, that invites a lot of room for them to get lazy and to get caught.
What I admire about the story that you were talking about last night is the person, I'm not going to name names, but it was quite funny because they had taken the stories of two different people and put them into one.
Yeah, and you actually found the original video. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyway, moving on from that.
I was like, we already dealt with that. We're done. We're moving on. We're addressing the situation because it happened.
Yeah.
My issue is that it was going to lead to some very messed up situations. That's why I get racked up. I'm not doing it to spread any hate. I'm just saying, do not do that. Otherwise, you're going to get screwed.
I mean, look, I'm going to say this to no, I'm going to say this to you, right? I'm going to say this to you. There are some people out there that talk the absolute utter pash.
Chris,
what?
Did you not just hear that?
What the guy's mentioning something? There was like a.
Did you not hear that? Please tell me someone else just heard that.
It's the Galactic Federation. They're coming for me again. No. I wish I could do like a weird thing and beam me up.
Oh, we made a mistake.
Well,
let's get out of here.
But look, I was watching two guys the other night there, and it was just ridiculous. They were going on about the Greys and about how the Greys are so good. Don't get me wrong. I know there is types of Greys in the UFO field that are okay. That, like Elena's book that I've mentioned and stuff like that, right? But this was getting a bit ridiculous. They were saying that they were doing bad things on Earth so as they could help humanity and stuff like that. And I was just like, I was just sitting watching them, and I was like, kind of lasted nearly 40 seconds. I couldn't watch it anymore. I couldn't watch it anymore.
I will say this. Those who choose paths of destruction, self-serving, as they would say.
Yeah.
In a way, they do contribute to the light, because you wouldn't find the need for evolution unless there was a problem. They assholes have their purpose too. As annoying as that may be, you would not try to better something if the situation was good, right? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Something broke, we gotta fix this.
But what I'm getting to, what I'm trying to say is,
Good one, dude.
Very well done. Very well done. Honestly, no. But what I'm trying to get to is where people are just taking like random stuff. They're watching the people that are actually talking the truth, Elena, and they're watching other people, right? And they're taking wee bits of that, and then they're turning it into their own kind of thing. And then people are getting in there and they're believing this, right? And then when you try and call them down for it, to say, listen, that's a total bullshit what you're talking about, you're the one that gets attacked. Okay, I mean, whereas they shouldn't be doing that, because in theory, it's spreading misinformation.
There is a way that they can be busted. I will say this.
Yeah.
YouTube analytics, right? Goes to show you how much people are actually watching, what sections they're watching the most, all that. If you were to find a subject that was spreading misinformation, chances are, if you got the right people put together, they can combine their YouTube analytics, line up the timeline when certain videos came forward, and pinpoint exactly every single step. They don't expect. Now, the people spreading bullshit don't expect people to do this, because that would require a lot of work. But that's also why I say, if you're going to be talking about this type of subjects, be prepared to present yourself like you're getting ready for a court case, as annoying as that may be.
I know. I will say this, right? TikTok's awfully bad for it.
Oh, yeah.
TikTok's awfully bad for it. There's people on there saying, I am from the Galactic. I was watching this the other night there. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm sorry for the Galactic Federation, because it's not their fault. And it's folk like this that should be banned off of there. I'm from the Galactic Federation of Light. I can tell you your future for only $49.99 donation. Did you see there's people out there actually copying our friend Cassie's?
Oh, yeah. I've noticed.
I and it was Drew in the chat there that actually told me about this, and that's absolutely disgraceful. Because she sent me the screenshot of the person that wanted like money off her to tell her the future and stuff like that, and the guy only had like 100 followers or something like that. Cassie's guy, I think he's got about what 7 million now, something like that, something ridiculous.
Easy. I mean, the dude managed. He talks a lot about alternate dimensions and stuff like that. He actually got he was reached out to by Pokemon to promote a game. It's like you don't get that type of advertising opportunity unless you start gaining some traction. Honestly, I'm not crashing on him. As someone who's a public presenter myself, I have to say, good on him. But nevertheless,
well, remember, I tell you about somebody on TikTok. It was that woman. She was speaking in all the kind of weird language and all that. You get the one I'm talking about. She sings.
Yeah,
the bald-headed one. The one I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about.
Well, just because she's bald doesn't mean she's crazy. No, wait.
Well, just wait for this. Just wait for that. This is a cracker. I was on a live through the week. I think it was Wednesday night. I was watching her live, and she was talking about the Galactic Federation and saying how that they're evil and they're here to destroy mankind.
What? And I'm like, source Rick and Morty.
And I says, that's what that's strange. That I says that's you're talking absolute bullshit, right? And she banned me for TikTok. I says,
of course,
right. And I'm watching everybody. Maybe about 600 people, and they're watching comments. And they're all like, yeah, the Galactic Federation, they're all evil, they're all this, they're all that. And that's her. She's sitting there saying that. And you should see the money she was making. She was getting like gifts. And all these people are getting like blinded to the fact that she's talking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know. Honestly, I honestly don't know what's happened to the world now.
I honestly believe that, we all go to stop and think that the world's gone crazy. Truth be told, we're just becoming a lot more aware of what's been going on this entire time. And it's scaring the fuck out of people. It is. Change can be scary. It can be a good thing, but in the same light, it's scary to really process. I mean, think about it. Every generation has to face that reality where parents are getting frustrated at their kids, and they have to realize the kids are being brought up in a world that no longer exists in the parents' eyes as the parents know it. Going from, I don't know, man.
The world has changed so much at a rapid rate. It has changed so much, even in the last 5 years. Right, the world has changed. It's what's happening now in the United States. It's happening now in the world, which we're not going into. It's just, and what's happening with all these pronouns and stuff like that. But people are called that, and I just sit there and watch this, and I'm like,
oh dear Lord! Oh, you just opened one of the biggest can of worms right now. Oh my God!
How? I can't get my head around that. I can't get my head. It's like mind-boggling. It's like the most. I'm going to say this right, and you can burn me at the stake, but I think it's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I honestly think it is. It's the most stupidest thing. You know what I'm saying? What's your opinion? I see myself as my pronouns. I'm a turnip.
Between a game brought up in the 70s and now, I can only imagine.
I was brought up in the 70s. I was brought up.
No, I was reading Drew's message.
No,
the whole pronoun situation. I'll be honest, I never even heard of this individual that's being the center of focus until this shit stirred up. And it's just that over fucking alcohol. It's like, I'm sorry, the alcohol is usually a product of some.
Is this something that's happened
involving the pronoun situation?
Yeah. Oh right, you're talking about the beer.
Yeah.
Right. Aye. Okay.
And I'll be honest, the type of things that these people are trying to push forward, they don't realize these drugs, these chemicals that alter the body's hormones kill people. They can kill.
Yeah.
And certain individuals, they have to go through mental health evaluations before even touching this stuff, just to make sure they can handle it. So if this thing is so great for those in the woke culture who are trying to push this agenda, especially on mutilating young children, tell me, why is it that so many trans individuals are turning back to what they originally were? Now, if that's something you want to do as an adult, that's your fucking choice.
Yes.
Why is it that so many of them are turning guns on themselves?
Yeah.
The trans movement is becoming a cover for self-harm.
Yes. Look, there's nothing wrong in being homosexual, right? And there's nothing wrong in being trans, right? But it's when it comes to all this, when they try and put it on others, and it's getting ridiculous now because there's actually a case that's happening now, which I'm not going to mention that much about it, where a trans woman, well, a man dressed as a woman, is actually threatened to shoot the place up in America. Did you see that on TikTok?
Yeah.
Everybody's going on about it. He says he can get into like a public bathroom, right? And you better no stop me because I'm taking my Glock with me. I mean,
first off, you just gotta if you gotta go to the bathroom, just fucking go.
Yeah. Oh, why do you have to advertise it? Why do they have to advertise it? They can go into bathrooms, but why do they have to advertise it?
Again, these are cries.
Yeah.
There is such a mental health situation going on right now that the masses are in a mode of self-destruction, and damn near every single political movement has been infiltrated by Nazi motivations. All this shit we're seeing right now, cultural appropriation. I'm sorry, that's fucking segregation.
It's terrible what's happening.
Exactly.
That's what's it? What's there? What's that? It's all from.
It's a form of sterilization and self-destruction. Yeah. Again, this is shit the Nazis pulled, and they realized that people are so neurotic when they're in a state of fear, in a state of uncertainty. They'll make up their own stances when they're confronted, which is why I put out that video yesterday. The second that they're confronted, they're going to get hostile. People are going to try to appease these motivations, and everything is meant to make it to where we bash in our own skulls, basically.
I am fair horse. I mean, like, look, that's what's wrong nowadays. They need to be shocked. They need to be told, and that's what's wrong with the younger generation. I'm sorry if you're watching younger generation, but he's getting away with far too much. And I just don't know. Anyway, did you see that with the talking about pronouns and stuff? I can't remember. I think it was a school in America where some of the pupils are cats and they're allowed to behave as cats.
And they have to have litter boxes in the corner of the classroom.
Yes, they actually go to the corner of the classroom and do the toilet in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to sleep on the desks. I mean, where's it going to end? I think this needs to stop. It needs to stop. Somebody needs to stand up to this and stop this. Because it's just going to get ridiculous beyond ridiculous.
Have you seen the number of these young ladies who are openly admitting to having sex with dogs?
Yes, I've seen that.
I'm sorry. If I saw that shit, I'd have to put down the dog.
There's actually a woman that's actually been arrested for that in the United States. She was a TikToker. And she's been arrested.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because she puts out all these messages across social media thinking that she's not going to be tracked, saying that it's at least 13 different dogs, that, she just gets into the position and they just go for it. Hello?
I will say this, right, and I'm going to bring up TikTok, right, here, and maybe Zach Burger and the guy that owns YouTube and all that, they'll probably be happy for this. I do think that TikTok needs to be restricted. There's too much on there. There's too much like people getting away with stuff. I know there's freedom of speech and stuff like that, but it's getting ridiculous now. It has to be police mayor. And I mean, they're talking about banning it in the United States. What I've heard.
They're not going to get enough traction because I read that was misinformation. They had litter boxes in case they were locked down because of a shooter. Well, yeah, several of these classrooms are also having emergency buckets for them to go in that have blankets to cover up. Yeah, because shootings in itself is another thing. And granted, I agree that something needs to be done because no kid should have to prepare to see their friends get gunned down.
All I'm going to say is this, right? What do you think the world will look like when the young ones now, right, on TikTok and doing all this kind of stuff, have kids of their own? If they have kids of their own, what will the civilization look like?
It's about as cringeworthy as my 16-year-old cousin, the one who was put responsible for a car accident, just getting her driver's license. And yes, that accident, Chris.
Yes. No. It's
yeah. Now, granted, I was in a car wreck when I was in driver's ed. Thought I almost killed an old lady. I was not found at fault.
I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I've got a vision of him driving along with an old lady stuck to the hood of the car.
No, she pulled out in front of like 6 lanes of traffic, and I couldn't get stopped quick enough. But still, and a lot of these kids, speaking of the younger generation, the second they get out of high school, they're starting to realize quickly how much they've been screwed over because the teachers just don't care. Look at the number of teachers in fucking Texas that were giving students child pornography to justify pedophilia.
I seen that. I seen something that disgusted me the other day there. Oh, you go, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I understand having to, it's unfortunate, but having that discussion with young kids so they know to identify when something is wrong so they can reach out and get help. It's not done enough. I understand it. But they were trying to justify.
Did you see what the UN, the United Nations, wants to do?
What's that?
Including the child. They're saying that they should legalize it.
Yeah, because a number of them,
it's getting ridiculous. It's absolutely disgusting. It really is. And something needs to be done. Something needs to be done quick. I mean, I'm going to bring this up. Everybody keeps, I don't know why folks send this to me. Who's that singer? What's his name? He dressed up in the big balloons when he went. It was a big balloon dress.
Oh, Sam Smith.
Have you seen his latest video on stage?
Yeah, how all of his dance moves are satanic. I'm sorry. If you actually looked into, the term Satan, all that means is adversary.
Yeah.
Genuine Satanism, the ones everybody's trying to point their finger at, is meant to be a middle finger to the main powers to be. Technically, I'll say technically, what we talk about when we talk about disclosure, I'm sorry, rallying up the troops so we can shove a big middle finger to the powers that be. Technically, we're the Satanists in that situation.
Yeah. I do think there's a lot of corruption now, and I do think, and this is getting into like the Hollywood side of things, and is like the Illuminati takeover. I think that's not even the Illuminati, the dark presence that's in Hollywood that's controlling everything, and I think that's what they've done to that Sam Smith. That Sam Smith used to be a really good, still was a really good singer, but he was a totally different person until he went there, and he just changed. But then again, all that's happening now on stage, dressed as the devil and stuff like that. This is what I've got to say. This a lot of rock stars do outrageous things like that, so as it gets people talking about them, so as it makes them more famous. Get what I mean? Because look at us, you're talking about it now. Get what I mean? So
exactly. Controversy breeds an audience. That's why so many YouTubers try to stir up drama. Just try to say, oh, this person is completely fake. Oh, that person is. There's this one person that was harassing Elena and them.
Yeah.
They started posting usernames. I never heard of these individuals. So naturally, when you start pouring it out, you're only going to be driving up an audience because people are just going to be wondering what the fuck is going on in the first place.
Yeah.
He kept making references trying to call out people for being gay. Last time I checked, anybody who started following that behavior was a repressed homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably needs to get some help.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, you're going to get trolls. You're going to get these people that's going to attack you for no apparent reason and all that kind of stuff. Get what I mean? And there is a lot of jealous people out there, Elena, and I think she's an amazing person. I think she does an amazing job.
Elena,
get what I mean?
Elena, Danny, Alex Collier, Tina, all them. I've gotten a deeper look at what they've got set up, and it is truly an amazing thing. And it's where a lot of our new faces have been popping up from lately. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Just remember, we live up to the Bald and Bonkers name.
They're saying in the chat there that they can't see Christine's comments, but I can see them on screen.
All right.
Let's just check this, guys, because I don't want MD to be singled out.
Well, we are broadcasting live to both the main channel as well as the archive one.
Oh, that's what it'll be.
We can channel. Let's double check. That's the first thing I can think of. Oh, shut up, myself. Huh. No, that's YouTube being YouTube, apparently.
It's YouTube. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's something on YouTube's side, and we can't control that.
So, here a question. I'm going to admit something. I've not watched any of Elena's videos today. Is there any new news coming out? Has she got any new news coming out with the Galactic Federation or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. She had a very interesting message from the Altians that a lot of people were saying in the chat that they were feeling chills because of the stuff that was coming about. Basically, it's supposed to be a reassuring thing that to understand that we're here. Yes, things are about to be crazy, but we're about to take the next step in human evolution. And that's why things are getting so crazy these days.
I see there's a lot of people been sending me videos. Please, guys, whoever is, you know who you are on Facebook, and there's nobody in the chat there, but they have been sending me messages saying, have you seen this on TikTok? Seemingly aliens are coming on the 24th or the 25th of this month to save us all. Have you seen that? It's all our TikTok, but you came at TikTok's like, it's full of shite. Right? Oh, the great ones are coming from beyond. What? Can you fill me in this? Because am I missing something?
The mass influx of sightings where the Department of Defense even comes out and said that there's a high likelihood of there being some kind of mothership nearby that is sending probes to monitor the Earth. What's actually going on is that several arcs that have been implanted throughout the solar system are turning on. And yes, these probes are being sent out. They're fully automated from the sounds of things. And it's only going to step up even more. There is no doubt across any party that something big is coming.
When do you think it'll happen? And that's my honest about when do you think it'll be?
Within the next couple of years, we're going to see something big.
No. See, this is what I want. See if they turned up right. Say if tomorrow you turned your TV on, your phone on, or whatever, and you looked at the window and there was alien ships everywhere. Do you think it would change society as it is now, or do you think it would take a wee? But what I'm saying is like what we were talking about before. Do you think it would change the younger generation? Do you think it would maybe want to change? See, this is a good thing that I can see. Right, aliens turn up. They're really nice. They want to help us. they could maybe our younger generation would think, can something I could go to other worlds, and maybe we will become like a society like out of Star Trek, where we want to like explore the universe, where the younger generation want to like learn. You see where I'm trying to go with this? So as the humans actually explore the universe one day.
I'll be honest. I'm hoping that this is a gross overestimation on my part, but for a lot of people, young and old, yes, they're fascinated. They want to see this happen.
Yeah.
But the way they go to approach it, the way they approach a lot of these events, and disclosure it's not coming. It's happening without a doubt. But they have to drip feed it because both the good and the bad guys agree that if it comes too quickly, people are going to start bugging out.
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing now. We're going to see this happen, but the mentality and some of the approach that I've been seeing, and I'm going to say this out front, I cannot help but wonder if a majority of the people who attend these audiences, they expect all of the technology that we've talked about, Elena, myself, Alex Collier, it's going to be handed to us on a silver platter.
Do that. You can't do
and
that.
It was like they've tried that. They tried that push before. They've honestly tried that push before, and it backfired horribly.
I think, and this is my honest opinion, I think that's the biggest mistake they could possibly make. I think, yes, they should turn up and say, like, listen, we'll maybe show you how to build an engine or two so as you can travel to planets, which will make it easier for you and stuff like that. And we'll show you how to maybe travel places. But you have to try and build technology yourself. You have to try and go down that road to sales so as you can design new technologies. It might take us 400 or 500 years. But that's what we're meant to do. That is what we're meant to do.
One of the criteria for joining the Galactic Federation is that there is a free exchange. Right now, our world is essentially in a probation period. We're not going to get all the perks right up front.
Yeah.
They're going to show us it. They're going to be more than happy to help us along the way, but they're not going to let us sit on our asses. They're going to make us put in the work.
I think it's like, look at all the technology over the years that people have meant to have designed and it's just disappeared, right? That's been some bunker somewhere, right? There'll be technology that humans will invent one day, right? That's probably more superior than our friends up there. And by rights, we should share it. We should say, here, would you like the plans for this so you can implement it into your own ships and stuff like that? By rights, because they would be doing the same for us. But obviously, giving the humans all the technology at once would be a very bad idea. Very bad idea. We'd blow ourselves up. We would start a war. I'm telling you, it'd be the worst. If you're listening to this Galactic Federation, do not do it. Do not do it. Don't give us all.
They have no plan. Just think of, let's draw a comparison. Okay, you have to realize the first races that are going to be appearing, they're going to be some of the ones that are going to be almost indistinguishable from humans.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to blend right in.
Mm-hmm.
This is a transition method. So that way we become more familiar to the idea, because if all of a sudden we had the one, like the Tengri that look like they have squids for heads, that's going to freak out some people. Or we're going to have, say, the Negamook, which are the basis for the invaders out of the Independence Day movies.
3 times.
Negamook.
The Egamook. The Negamook.
The Negamook. The Nomopo. Yeah, the invaders from the Independence Day movies. They're out there. If they were the first ones to show up, yeah, we're going to freak a little. But you also got to make the comparison. We are the entitled teenagers in this.
Yeah.
If we start demanding things, if the parental figure starts giving us all the fancy cars, all the fancy computers, just because we ask, we're not going to have that attachment that makes it to where we make sure we don't break it.
We're no I know what you're trying to say here. We're no creating it ourselves, so we don't have the love for this world. If we created our own technology, if we were allowed to create our own technology, obviously the people on this planet that now don't allow it. It's just engines that run in water and stuff. They people just disappear. If we were allowed to create our own technology, we'd be proud of it. We were like, oh, we're for Earth, and we created this the sixth drive. I'm just making something up. The sixth drive that goes into a spaceship, and we can travel faster than the speed of light. We developed that, right? But if you like a kid, you give them everything. You just keep getting them the best, the best, the best. You're just going to sit there and get stupider and stupider and stupider. Let's face it. You need to learn. We need to learn. We need to grow up. We need to. Obviously, by the time it happens, we're too old. Maybe you're a wee bit younger. I don't know, but it's the younger generation. Get what I mean? Maybe in our lifetimes we'll get to go to Mars and stuff like that, and our holidays or something like that. But it'll be the younger ones that will travel the stars.
But there's also something else that people really need to consider. And this is not me trying to sound negative. This is me coming forward, having seen all sides of the situation, and say, this is what's going on. And there's others who can validate me on this. Part of these slow approach, say like they have to wait 50 years before they can officially unclassify certain documents. Say like JFK as an example.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until Donald Trump was in office that they could undergo review, because everybody that was involved with it was either too old to really give a damn, likely developed Alzheimer's, or dead.
Yeah.
That's why. And why? But here's the thing. Why would we want to wait until that point for information to come out?
I know.
Think about it. Because something is going on behind the scenes. And they know, the people in charge know. They know it is wrong what they have done.
Yeah.
But they do not want the consequence. They know it's going to get out eventually. But they're wanting to cut ties so that they can't be brought in for prosecution.
Here's something that I was going to ask Elena the next time she was on. Would be quite an interesting. Right? What do you think will happen? Right. Say they all turn up. Right. Say three groups of aliens turn up. Three different ones turn up. Right. What do you think will happen to the world governments? Do you think they'll collapse? All the governments?
Why do you think the ARPO, I believe the acronyms, the Department of Defense's Office for UFO Research that they have now?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that everything is formatted to prepare for war?
Because they're going to say that they're bad. And they're
exactly.
not.
They're going to try to push the narrative. Just like we try to say, oh, the blacks are bad, the Mexicans are bad, the whites are bad.
So what
they know they know it works. They know that self-degradation of the slightest difference between human beings works. So if all of a sudden we got a bunch of freaky looking aliens coming down, it's not going to take much if we don't pull our heads out of our asses.
See, it's quite interesting you're talking about this, because I was watching a show on YouTube last night and about how they're Project Bluebeam and what they're going to do is they're going to do like a fake alien invasion, but in amongst the fake UFOs, there's got to be like our technology dropping bombs in cities, and then we'll blame it on them, right? Mm-hmm. Which to say that the good aliens turn up and then we deliberately blow our own cities up and then say that was them. See, this is what I'm worried for, because maybe the aliens that are there, hopefully they'll turn after the nukes, but it's still conventional weapons that can cause so much damage. This is where you have to be very careful, because I do think that the governments in this world will do anything to keep in power. Will do anything.
Iron Firehorse actually makes a very good point. You can go on to the FBI archives, CIA archives, Black Vault.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the first documents you'll come across involve what we're talking about now. And it's the way those documents are worded. Contact has already been made with these beings. They look like us. And I'm paraphrasing here, obviously. They look like us, except if you were, say, to cut them open, like for an autopsy, because one of them ends up dead, you're going to notice the difference. They don't want to start a war, but they've seen enough of their technology to where if we start shooting, we lose that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything they've given us because of, say, like the Eisenhower, the great treaties that started around the Eisenhower administration, they're not going to give us anything that's better than what they have, would they? No, they're going to give us hand-me-downs.
Aye, they're going to give us the junk that they used like 500 years ago.
They're going to give us what a parent would give to their baby.
What do you think the medical side of this will be? What do you think the medical things that they'll give us? Because I've heard a lot lately about them giving us these special cryopods that will heal your body and stuff like that.
Yeah, med beds.
Med beds, aye, right. Med beds were like say for instance, I've got a lot of things wrong with me, guys. I've got brittle bone disease and stuff like that. So if I could climb into that, press a button, an hour later, I'd be like, oh, great, I'd be dancing about and all that. I'd feel great. Do you think that they'll give us some of that technology?
It's already being in development. They're going to start rolling it out very soon.
That's why the elite live so long. No?
Not for the elite. Our side is slowly working to bring that down here. The experimentation that's going on in the moon bases, say like it'd be like in the Doom games, why all these scientists would want to operate in space. Because the laws of the Earth, the limitations and moral and ethical guidelines don't apply up there. They can experiment all they want and not hurt anybody. And Iron Firehorse, it's a widely believed that the human body can already grow.
That's right.
Limbs back. They can turn off aging to where we would essentially be biologically immortal. That stuff's already there. These med beds would be able to go in using sound and light frequencies to turn on those DNA strands.
That's what I was going to say. Using there's a certain hertage, there's a certain sound wave that can actually reheal your genetic structure.
It can stimulate natural healing properties of the body. Now, everything that their technology is based around essentially is meant to try to work in rhythm with nature, right? In theory, that means while chances might be slim, somebody can already naturally do these things without the need for technology.
Yeah.
Who's to say that that's not the source of miracles that we see in religion? Somebody already figured it out.
There's some people out there. See, this is the thing. Tell you what happens if these extraterrestrials are among us, which they are. I know that for a fact. They are among us. And some of these extraterrestrials can do what you just said. And then they decide to make a miracle. They help somebody, and it's a miracle. God's come down and helped that kid, but it's not really. It's that aliens helped because they can do that.
Think about it. Yes, for those who came over from Elena's side, I understand densities, but as we try to toss around, these beings are from higher dimensions.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Flatland clip from Carl Sagan?
I've heard about it.
Okay.
I think I've seen it.
Basic concept. Yeah. You can find it on YouTube very easily.
I think I've seen it.
Basically, it brings up a scenario where we see a world that's occupied by two-dimensional creatures, how we as three-dimensional can see into everything.
Yes.
A fourth-dimensional being could easily look into our bodies as easy as they were looking at a painting and be able to say, oh, Chris, you have a mass somewhere in your shoulder blade right there that you probably need to get checked out.
Yeah.
It does not look good. it'd be kind of like how certain dogs have been known to smell out strokes.
That's right.
They can tell where the blockage is or where the cancer cells are. We already have the basic infancy to pull off miracles, ladies and gentlemen. So why aren't we actually doing it?
Because of a couple of things. Because of the people in power, the greedy buggers that they are, they want to sell their drugs. The pharmaceutical companies that can make like a drug that fights cancer for like 10 cents a pill and then sells it for like $500 a pill.
Speaking of which, last episode we recorded, we got into talking about AI.
Yes.
Guess what AI medical bots just did?
What's that?
It is believed they may have figured out a cure for several forms of cancer.
Mm.
Doo-doo.
What do you think will happen there? Do you think they'll cover that up and then try and flog his drugs that don't work?
They're gonna try because it's a lot more lucrative to treat cancer than it is to cure it. This has been well known for quite some time. You make more money from cancer treatments, making that individual sick, degrading their body through radiation, through experimentations that were brought over from the fucking Nazis.
That's right.
Then it is.
Do you ken that radiation treatment does more harm to you?
Oh yeah, it does.
It's
the whole
you have chemotherapy and stuff. I
mean, now granted, if I'm not mistaken, the human body can survive a lot if undergone the right amount of duress. Did you know that there is a Japanese man who is still alive to this day who survived the bombings of both Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
That's right, there is. That's right.
He's still alive and kicking.
This shows you. I mean, hopefully the bombs will never ever get detonated again.
Mm-hmm.
I actually watched an interesting program last night. I don't know if I mentioned it to you in the chat when I was talking to you. You know that in Russia, when the Soviet Union collapsed, you ever heard of the kind of power generator where they heat it up and it makes electricity? It's a type of generator. In Russia, because see how they had remote lighthouses, right, all along its like coasts and stuff, and radiators, they actually use uranium. Nuclear ones, the very same ones that like the paraffin lamps, except it was nuclear. And still to this day, people are finding there was actually a case where a couple of log workers 10 years ago found one, but they didn't know what it was. And they thought, this is giving off great heat. I mean, it's -40. Let's put it next to the campfire. The three of them suffered severe radiation burns.
Oh, yeah.
Severe. Sadly, one of them passed away because it was that bad. See, all this nuclear stuff, all these nuclear power stations, they're a good idea, but I think we need to get rid of them. I think we need to go down the road of like fusion power. And see, they say that they've managed to start. Did you see that? I think it was months ago. They said that they've actually managed to a fusion power station, right? I think they've already. I think they've already figured this out, right? I think they've got working ones there that can make electricity, no problem at all. And
the Chinese already,
yeah.
It was China that brought that out, that they managed to sustain a fusion reaction that was several times hotter than the surface of the sun, than the core of the sun even. Well, they only held it for a few seconds, but though it was so much power that night went into day. Here's the thing. As someone who's personally been to China and experienced their pollution, there's been several years where the pollution got so bad in China, they had to ban their fireworks displays because essentially, if they were to light off firework, they may as well napalm their entire population. It was that bad.
What I will say about the human race is we have got so much hidden away. Things that people have invented. And yes, people have invented engines that run in water. They've disappeared.
They died under mysterious circumstances.
Did you see the one where the guy invented the blowtorch? And when it was burning, you could actually hold the end of it and it wasn't hot, right? But as soon as you put it over any type of metal, anything, it burnt right through it. Do you know he disappeared? And do you know what powered that? Water. He poured water into the petrol tank to power it.
One of the mass shootings in Brooklyn, a lot of people found it kind of ironic that the person who went on TikTok and showed people how to utilize hydrogen power in their engines through the use of salt and water.
Yes.
All of a sudden, he was one of the victims. Now, here's another thing: the water crisis. We're running out of water.
Yeah.
We have the technology to pull the salt from the ocean.
Yes.
And make more than enough fresh water. We have it. But why don't we do it?
Desalination plant.
In fact, Israel has the biggest plant right now to do just that. Why don't we do it more? Why don't we do it more?
Arabia too.
Exactly.
Desalination plants.
Exactly. Why don't we do it more?
It does use quite a lot of power, though. Did you know that?
Exactly. That was the point that I was leading into. It costs more to bring in the energy. Who's going to pay for the energy? It's not lucrative enough. That's why we don't do it. Even though we could solve the world's resource issues, we can make sure the people in Africa who have to walk miles to try to find some kind of clean source of water, or be able to provide for the towns that are dealing with chemical spills that these companies are trying to cover up here in the States. We could easily fix it all, but it's not lucrative enough.
As an interesting thing I learned the other day there, and I was watching this, and I didn't know this right. Let's talk about Africa for a minute. How long would you say that they've had famines for?
Quite some time.
How long would you say?
Say 50 years at least.
50? More than that. Hundreds of years. When the British settlers went into it, they were having famines, right? Because let's face it, it's a desert. They're trying to grow stuff where stuff can't grow, right? It's always been famines in that area. Now, see if you to build one of these like fusion reactors small enough to like a desalination plant and like pump the water in. Can you imagine the difference that would make? I mean, we just need our friends to come and basically free us, because the governments that's in charge now are no going to let us.
I mean, here's something that not a lot of people know. Did you know that companies can actually be fined if their products work too good? If they work too good. Say like the light bulb, I believe it's in a firehouse in Chicago. That's been on for over 100 years and still bright as ever.
Really? I did not know that.
You know, the whole phrase, they don't make them like they used to. That's a thing. Because they realize they make more money when people are lazy and just try to buy replacements instead of trying to fix them.
I watched a program the other night. I watch a lot of like engineering programs and stuff because I find it fascinating. And there's actually it's California. There's a company it's invented this machine that basically sucks petroleum from the air. You heard of this? It sucks the petroleum from the air, and you can every car needs to be modified, but it doesn't cost much. It was like $50 or something to modify your engine to use this stuff. And do you know what comes out the exhaust? Water vapor. You can do it to diesel cars, petrol cars, water vapor. So you could take like say for instance, you could take like your car, the New Dakota, and put that modification on $50, right? When it goes, and you could fill the tank up basically with this new type of fuel, and all that would come out the back of your exhaust was water vapor. But no, they decide to sell you these electric cars that are more harmful than you could possibly imagine. See lithium, ladies and gentlemen, see lithium. It's very explosives. You look at the cars that go in fire, and you can't put it out with water. You cannot put a lithium fire out with water. You've got to use a special foam because it burns.
Oh yeah.
A certain way. But here's an actual interesting fact that a lot of you will know, right? With your cell phones and stuff like that. And this has got to laugh at these protesters going on about oil and stuff like that. And they're all got the latest iPhones and stuff, and the Samsung phones. See the lithium in the back of your phone? It's mined in China. It's mined around the world, right? And they basically use slave labor to get this cobalt and lithium for your smartphone. It needs to end.
The cost of let's pick on you, Mr. Apple products.
I'll leave my
if all of the production for the latest iPhones were to be done in the US, not utilizing slave labor out of China.
Yes.
Do you realize how much that would cost? How much the phones would likely cost to hit retail shelves?
Oh God,
couple thousand minimum. Couple thousand minimum.
Yep.
I was about to say, did we just lose you?
And no, I had to cough. I couldn't breathe there all of a sudden. I had to cough there. But anyway, do you know in China they've actually got suicide nets? They've actually got suicide nets running about the factories. Right, I will say this about Apple, right? Apple products, right? And I'm not a salesman. If you're watching, please contact Bonkers for a sponsorship. But anyway, I thought I'd just say that.
God.
But just listen to this, right? See, Apple products, I will say they last longer than normal products. The day. They last longer, right?
When considering they purposely program the batteries to degrade over time after like 3 years of use.
If you look after it, but you can get that replaced.
Well, what about all these phones nowadays on both Android and iPhone where everything is glued together? You can't access it without
I will admit that
right? Taking a sledgehammer.
I'll admit that, right? My Apple phone is there, right? See when you take it out, this is a life-proof case, right? It protects it from water and stuff, right? See when you take it out this case, it's just like a blocky glass, right? There's no holes in it. There's the power port at the bottom. I can charge it wirelessly, but I've got it set up so I can watch YouTube on it now. But they're waterproof, right? And that's the only way you're going to get like total waterproofness, right? I will say we do need to start coming away and no using as much products. I think people are needing to like buy a phone and keep it for maybe 8 years. And I know people, right? And this is no joke, right? They spend every time an iPhone comes out, they buy the latest one. They showed us they opened the. No, me. No, I've had that phone for 3 years now, 2 years. But I know people.
It's got to be a world record
that have spent nearly £40,000 on Apple products in the last 7 years. They've got everything. They've got the app, the Mac. They've got the iPads. They've got the phone. They've got everything. Every time a new phone comes out, like say the iPhone 13 came out, they bought it Pro, right? 7 months later, the iPhone 14 came out, they bought it, and they just keep buying them. And I don't see the point in that because my iPhone 12 does exactly the same as what the iPhone 14 does. Yes, the iPhone 14 camera might be slightly better, but that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah. And it's a throwaway society we live in. It's a throwaway society.
I mean, this is something we brought up on several occasions, that anything that is truly innovative that would help people gets suppressed. Say, like, I was about like 8, 9 years old when there was news reports coming out about a certain type of bacteria found that completely stops tooth decay. You would essentially never have to really... Yeah, I know. But like you said, we have several new people here. So we can get away with repeating certain things. You wouldn't essentially never have to brush your teeth again. Where'd that go?
And
electric cars. We've had
below
those.
the surface in somewhere in America.
electric cars. We've had that for over 100 years now.
There's been look, electric cars are a good idea, right? But the batteries technology we have the new is shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could see the point if you had an electric car, right, where like maybe a fusion drive inside the car, like a small reactor inside the car that you could get like 400 or 500 miles. See, the thing about the electric cars, if you buy an electric car, right, you have to play this new game that's been invented. It's called the PowerPoint. Find the PowerPoint charging location.
Yeah.
Because I know somebody that bought a Tesla, right? They bought a Tesla, 90,000 pounds for like the basic model. And there's only one place they can charge it outside their house. And they had to wait in a car park for 2 hours. The bloody thing charged up, so it's on the journey again. I can go to my car now, full tank of petrol, get into it, and drive nearly 600-700 miles in that tank of fuel, not stopping once.
Mm-hmm.
And an electric car doing that, they're going to have to go, stop, wait for an hour, go, stop, wait for an hour, go, stop, wait for an hour.
Now, consider that, say, like here in the States, you have states like California that are trying to push for all electric cars. The wiring in those things can't handle the salt that comes out of the ocean that's in the air. They can't. It degrades the system. And if those things lose power completely, the motor that runs the damn charging port won't work to where you can't charge it. You can't even put it to park because all of it, literally every aspect of it is electric.
That's right.
And it's like you say, put in a little fusion reactor. What happens if someone with these fusion cars, as you propose, gets into an accident?
Boom.
I mean, think about it.
You obviously make it say, but that's the thing about fusion. Fusion's safer than nuclear. With fusion power, there's no radiation. That's the thing.
There is.
There's a very, very small amount. Did you know that Americans in the 1960s actually built a car that had a nuclear reactor on it?
Yep.
And a truck.
Yep.
You could basically drive around America non-stop.
Mm-hmm.
But it had a nuclear reactor with plutonium or uranium. Can you imagine the accident with that?
That's another thing. There is radioactive material that is completely safe. Thorium produces no waste, and it's actually it's more potent than uranium. Doesn't produce harmful waste. Completely natural.
Yeah. Why did they not use it? Because they would rather use the other stuff than that pollutes.
Now, granted, you can find natural uranium deposits. It can be done. That it's relatively safe. You can buy fucking uranium on Amazon.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If the CIA or the FBI would like to talk to Dakota about is buying uranium, please contact Building Bonkers Network, LLC. I'm sure he'll email you back.
And here's another thing. Talking about car accidents, all these vehicles are damn near all plastic to where if they get in a serious enough wreck, you're essentially a fireball. Back in the 30s, we had steel.
Right.
That was several times more effective, and it was made from hemp.
I'm going to tell you this. They actually started making hemp things now. You can actually buy a lot of hemp.
Yeah, it's starting to come back, but that was back in the. We already had that back in the 30s.
Here's an interesting thing, right? I was driving into my village a couple of months ago, and I seen a brand spanking new. It was a Hyundai. It was beautiful looking motor, but it was electric, and it was abandoned at the side of the road. Right, 4 days later, it was still sitting there. Right, it broke down. It ran out of charge.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, they came to take it away, but they couldn't tow it because of all the 4 electric motors on it. You can't tow it. A machine had to come on, pick it up, and put it on the back of a flatbed truck. But here's an interesting fact for all you guys there and this is and I was told about this, and this will blow your mind. See, when you rent a car out, right? Be very careful when you rent out an electric car. And especially in Britain, I don't know if it's the same in America. I was talking to a garage owner near me, and it was always going to call outs because they don't see when you pick up your rental car, right? They don't give you the charging cable.
Mm-hmm.
So what you meant today is that he's like that. He says, I've been in 15 call-outs this week picking up cars that have ran out of electricity. Do you know for the cable it's £300 you've got to pay, but you get it back if you get the cable. If you've got the cable. And some people just take the car, don't think about the electric, and drive off into the sunset, never to be seen again.
That goes to prove the point. I mean, here in the States, right? You probably hear it was like you were giving me grief because because I'm the main one that all the legal paperwork goes through. I'm the one that has to file taxes every quarter. I'm the one it all bounces to. Yeah, I had to just deal with, personal taxes. You gave me the remarks like you actually have to do taxes. Your government doesn't just do it for you. Like here in the States, no. Why is that the case? Because companies like H&R Block wanted to make money. Health insurance are the reason why hospitals charge out the ass.
Yeah.
We've been epically screwed over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Certainly makes you wonder.
We've been screwed over for years, So here a question for you. What's on the show tomorrow night? What amazing things are our amazing viewers going to be watching tomorrow night?
We may not do it live. We may. I don't know. We'll see. But we have Dave Bender's wife, Anne, coming on.
Yes. Drew couldn't stop laughing in the chat when I tell them about Dave Bender. His last name.
I'm guessing your brother is.
No, I'm not talking about Drew. I'm not talking about Drew, my brother. I'm talking about Indrina there.
You have three. You have like
Scotland.
3 different Drews around you, man. It's hard to keep track.
Wait, I'll show you the culprit. This is the culprit here. When I mentioned the
the one that ironically looks like the AI demon everybody freaks out about.
So this is it. Okay, I mean, it's a strange name, isn't it?
What, Drew?
Yeah. No, Bender.
Yeah, but
I couldn't help it. He was a fascinating guy, absolutely amazing guy. I'm looking forward tomorrow night for the strange
he's already said he's already said when I sent him the links for when his thing started to drop that he was more than willing to come back on. So we'll see what the future holds.
I'm maybe get him on for the old Ghost Squad Scotland or something.
Speaking of like the whole energy thing, somebody that we should probably aim for. I have a rough idea on where to start looking, but what would be kind of awesome if we managed to land?
Who?
Bob Lazar.
Bob.
Last I heard, he's actually running an energy company out of Oregon. That'd be an interesting conversation, wouldn't it?
Nudge, nudge.
Yeah, we'll have snipers fixed on our position, black helicopters circling the house.
Do you know what would be really good with that interview? Bob Lazar and Elena.
Ooh.
Can you imagine
that's just Elena? Asking for people to start going disappearing.
Elena together with Bob Lazar.
Yeah. That's just asking for people to disappear, man.
What do you mean?
I mean, think about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll remember Dakota if he disappears one night. We'll have a small ceremony for you once a year, but we'll remember you.
Once a year? I'm the fucking CEO, motherfucker. I built this bitch.
It's coming in. Oh God, I think it would be really good.
It's like you're not fucking pulling a Steve Jobs Steve Wozniak on me. I'll whoop the out of you.
Do you know something, Tate? I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, there's a PayPal link on Bald and Bonkers if you would like to donate, because Dakota wants to go to a special UFO event in the winter time, isn't it?
Well, it's down in Florida, so that's not much of a concern. But donations are completely optional. We're not going to tell you. We have merch stores to raise money to help keep the company going, because we have a lot of stuff that we're wanting to put forward. A lot of amazing things coming on board, and I said that we were going to offer up to be an open house tonight, but nope, everybody wanted to be a big chicken about it.
Oh
well.
What's that? You should put a PayPal Cash App link up, guys.
It's in the description.
It's in the description, guys. So if there's any multi-millionaires that wants to buy Dakota a hair transplant, please visit that link. And
hair transplant? What about you? Buy you a ticket to
I
Brazil so you can live out.
Three. There's one there.
You can live out your fantasies with Brazilian men there, Chris. I saw the description.
Look. It was you that went in and changed that. That was disgraceful. Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that Dakota is going on a Brazilian radio show? That's going to be really interesting. What's the channel? What's the channel for that?
Oh God, I would have to dig out the
mad crazy name that I can't.
But yeah, they had Elena on. They managed to work with Elena. So, but yes, I believe it's this coming Friday. I am going to be recording an interview for a show that's out of Brazil, which is it's going to be very interesting because it'll be officially the first time I've ever had to work with an interpreter.
Will you be playing it in the Bald and Bonkers site?
No, because it's all going to be in Portuguese, man.
It's going to be quite funny because I'm going to watch it anyway, because obviously you're going to be speaking English,
Chris. What? They're going to dub my voice. So it's going to kind of look like old Godzilla films. So
it's going to be like,
hey, Godzilla!
So it's got to be like this. Today, live, he will come from outer space.
It's like, yeah, the script actually had Elena on, and apparently they saw the interview when I was on with Elena, so
yeah.
They already had an interpreter lined up. I
need
just
to
had
fund
to
this
say
channel.
yes.
I want to watch it just to see the dubbing, because I think it'll be awesome.
Once I know more, you'll know more.
Right.
Because I will probably be making a movie announcement here very soon.
Yeah.
That a movie I filmed just before a thing I filmed before quarantine is getting ready to release from the sounds of it. And we have a new book that's in the Bald and Bonkers lineup.
What's that?
It's The Sexual Exploitations of Christopher Mole.
Yes. And it's
only one page long.
1 page long. And full of pictures.
No. It's I wanted to start trying to put together some sort of resources, because when it comes to situations like disclosure, ghost hunting, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to ask questions and who may want to take the reins and go exploring themselves. So I created a special journal for people to document their experiences in. And towards the end of it, it'll be available on Amazon. It'll be physical and digital ebooks. And towards the end of it, if you decide to take on an official investigations platform, I also threw in a easy to use template that helped out some of our members that were getting screwed over by some of our former associates.
I think that'll be awesome, But I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, because I think it's got to be a very interesting night tomorrow.
It comes out May 5th. Be sure to watch all of the Bald and Bonkers links. Telegram, we have a Telegram group, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, obviously, Rumble, Bumble.
Does Elena post in there? Does Elena post in there? Or is it you that posts for Elena on Telegram?
Yeah, how do you think I get the stuff from her? She has her own channel on there.
I didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah.
The other day. Was that Drew's the day before my birthday? There you go. Oh. Dakota will dress up and sing you a happy birthday song.
Bust out the walkers.
Yes. So I think tonight's been awesome, you know. So what you doing the rest of the night, Dakota? Are you going to the KFC to get yourself a KFC bucket?
Well, I feel like I should do something because today's actually an anniversary for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What's their anniversary?
13 years ago, I went on my first official public investigation. I started stepping out, doing this type of stuff, and
you should put a wee video together and put it out there, you know.
There's a video that's been rendering for about 24 hours already.
See, he beat me to it, ladies and gentlemen. He beat me to
it. No, it's another episode of Hidden Files. This one goes more into how to contact and what to watch out for if something goes sideways.
Did you put your contact number below? People will be like, "Aye, 10 reptilian shapeshifters visit me in the night and they take me away to the special planet." I'm telling you, the people contacting you, you know.
If anybody wonders, why today is so special, is because my first client just happened to be my late grandfather, who ended up helping me get my start. So, honor his memory.
I says his happy 13th.
Oh, yes. I'm only 27. I've been at this since I was 14. I pretty much look the same as I do now. So.
Again, it's hard to believe that he's actually younger than me.
Did you know somebody actually thought I was younger?
What do you mean, 12? Who said you were younger?
Yeah, someone who commented on one of the Hidden Files episodes. They said that they honestly thought I was younger than I actually am. It's like, that's a first.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. Strange.
Not that I was offended, it's just I'm not used to it.
You know. Oh well. I must admit that video you done on Friday's nearly up to 2,000 views. I mean, that was Elena that posted that on her site, didn't she?
Yeah, she posted it on her Telegram, on her YouTube. Yeah. She was there watching it, and she apparently said I did a good job. So, someone with her credentials.
There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you when we see you, and hopefully the aliens will come in the night and take you all away.
That's how I ended up with 3 kids, man. Be careful what you say.
Thanks for tuning into the Bald and Bonkers Show. If you enjoyed the show and want to show your support, head over to our website at baldandbonkers.net. There, you'll find our merch, services, and more. Thanks for being part of the Bald and Bonkers family, and we'll see you on the next episode. And remember, always keep an open mind and an open heart.